Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. It is currently 3:46 a.m. I have been awake for a little while and I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I decided that I would come and say hello to everybody because I haven't been on for a little while. There's a lot to talk about. There's so much happening around the place. Lots of things that I want to talk about. Lots of things I want to mention. I don't think I'm plugged in. I don't think my microphone's plugged in, so let me just plug myself in. I actually thought I had myself all ready, but obviously I haven't got myself ready. And I'm hoping that this is the right one. Can't take some people anywhere, that's all I can say. I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. Yeah, I think I've plugged myself in. I've got cables and cords everywhere at the moment. So, hello Terry, how are you? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. We don't celebrate it here in Australia. So apparently we've got onto the bandwagon of Black Friday sales. So, which I find to be quite amusing. But anyway, there is a lot to talk about. I want to talk about the Bruce Lehrman trial, that defamation trial, and some things, interesting things from that. Oscar Pistorius apparently has been granted parole in South Africa. It's been 10 years since he was jailed for the murder of Rita Seekamp, if you remember that trial. Daryl Hall and John Oates are currently, well, John Oates is, there's a court battle brewing between them. Very successful musical partnership. And of course, we've got our good old faithful Katie Joy, who is still being Katie Joy, I guess. So let's start at this. Now, let's start with Bruce Lehrman, because this is a very interesting thing. Now, he didn't actually have to testify at his court at this defamation trial. I'll pull up the stuff in a minute, but he chose to. And it could be described as nothing more than a train wreck, to be honest, an absolute train wreck. Yesterday, he needed a couple of breaks to try and pull himself together because his story kept changing. So it's interesting, and social media has gone crazy over this. With someone saying that a defamation lawyer has been able to get out of him what the police couldn't. So he can bought drinks for Brittany Higgins, despite earlier telling the federal court he could not recall. Now, this is going to be a trigger warning. This is about SA, or allegations of SA. And this is really bizarre, but it says he was wrong when he told the court he couldn't remember buying drinks for Brittany Higgins. So he has denied he tried to buy Brittany Higgins, tried to get Brittany Higgins drunk on the night she alleges she was hard, but has conceded he did buy her 2 drinks, despite earlier saying he could not recall doing so. His admission came after Friday's hearing of the defamation case was briefly paused over concerns about his memory. Now, he's suing Channel 10 and journalist Lisa Wilkinson for an interview on the project in which Ms. Higgins alleged that she was inside Parliament House in Canberra 2019. In his 2022 criminal trial, his criminal trial was aborted due to juror misconduct, and there remains no findings against him. Now, at this stage, they have not reinstated the case or have continued the case. At the moment, they have done nothing. So he has always denied the allegations, and he did say that he did not do anything to her. So the key points were that his mind was blank when he was cross-examined on Friday by Network 10's lawyers. His inability to recall certain details prompted the court to briefly adjourn. So on Monday morning, Network 10's barrister Matthew Collins Casey, Dr. Matthew Collins Casey, cross-examined him about whether he'd bought Miss Higgins 2 vodka drinks at the dock, which was the Canberra venue they had visited the night in question. He doesn't recall buying her drinks. I'm happy to be corrected. It's very hard to recall specifically. He later told the court he was struggling to remember. Because I'm in the witness box, I'm being very careful not to give definite answers. My mind is blank at the moment. So Justice Michael Lee said it might be appropriate to briefly adjourn the hearing. If you feel you can't give a proper account to the questions being put by Dr. Collins, you should tell me. Would you like a break? It might be nice if it could happen. And it was adjourned for 15 minutes. So I think his lawyers would have had a chance to get him to pull together. So upon his return, he told the court he did buy her at least 1 drink. So then there was security footage showing him at the bar on 2 separate occasions buying a drink. You were trying to get Miss Higgins drunk, Dr. Collins said. You were ensuring that she had a glass of spirit-based alcohol every moment. No, I wasn't. The security vision played to the court also showed Mr. Lehrman on one occasion collating 3 spirit-based drinks on the corner of the table near where Miss Higgins was standing. He denied saying to another person in attendance, all hers, in reference to Miss Higgins. He has agreed that security footage shows Miss Higgins consuming at least 6 spirit-based drinks in the window of about 3 hours. So she was essentially legless. On Wednesday, Mr. Lehrman told the court he did not recall buying drinks at the venue for anyone other than his friend Austin Winky. The answer was false, Dr. Collins put to him on Friday. Yes, and I apologise, I was wrong. He said he had been very confused at points of his testimony. There's quite a lot of information passing in this matter, and it does affect my recall. He said it's been quite stressful. So Network 10 and Wilkinson proved that their reporting was true as a defence. So they're doing the truth defence. Now, they don't actually have to show that there is beyond reasonable doubt. They only have to show that on the balance of probability it happened. That's the threshold for a civil trial. So on the balance of probability, so that's really what the judge actually has to come to. On the balance of probability, did this happen, and was the reporting true for this element of it? So he has rejected detailed propositions put to him about Miss Higgins' allegations against him. That included that he was rough and forceful, that he ignored 6 requests to stop. None of that happened. And Dr. Collins even asked if at any time there was consent. He said, I didn't get consent because I didn't have sexual intercourse with her, he replied. He repeated his claim. He did not speak to Miss Higgins after they arrived in the office. He was asked why he needed to retrieve his keys from Parliament House to access his home. He said it was a process to get into the apartment building he was living in, and it was not as easy as knocking on the door and asking his then girlfriend to let him in. So they'll be back on Monday. So it's definitely a very interesting thing. And one of the things that they're trying to prove is his unreliability as a witness, which is what you need to do. And you have to prove that there was that on the balance of probability, it could have happened. So that's where we are. It was, in my opinion, it was very much a train wreck. It was definitely a horrible train wreck, and I'm wondering why they thought that he would be okay to be in the box. It's a bit like on a criminal trial where you have the defendant giving evidence for themselves. Quite often, particularly here in Australia, they don't do that because they know that it could be trouble. And I think he's digging himself a bigger hole the longer that he's in the box. So he spent a whole full day in the box yesterday. And it was just, social media is just ablaze with all the changes to the story. There's questions I've got questions about how security let a legless, and the security footage shows that Higgins was definitely drunk. She could barely walk. How she was able to even get into Parliament House, why they didn't say to her, "You're not in a fit state to be in this place, we'll get you home," or, because to me that she would be a danger. I question the culture of alcohol and drinking in Parliament House. I question the culture. There's a lot of culture issues for me that need to be sorted out in Parliament House. And also, there's been a lot of criticism against the Australian Federal Police on the way that this was conducted and handled, and also on the part of the then government who tried to cover it up. So there's lots of different things going on, and that this is actually exposing, and hopefully the greater ramifications are that we can get changes in Parliament. So so that was a bit of a train wreck. So let's go to the next little issue. Oscar Pistorius. Sorry. I think I should be right. Oscar Pistorius. If you remember rightly, was at the top of his game as a Paralympian, South African superstar. 10 years ago, he was jailed for the murder of his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. He has been granted parole. Now, he will not be released from prison until January 2024. Reva Steenkamp's mother said in a statement she was not convinced that he's been rehabilitated, and he had been sentenced to 6 years, which the Supreme Court more than doubled, saying it was a shockingly lenient. So he was initially jailed for 6 years, if you remember rightly. So he served 10 years. So he was later charged. So he was to serve 13 years and 5 months, and he will have served 10. So if you remember, he was known as Blade Runner. He had the carbon fiber prosthetic legs. He was the public hero, and he was convicted of shooting and killing his girlfriend on Valentine's Day in 2013. The parole hearing took place in the correctional centre near the capital, Pretoria, where Pistorius served the majority of his sentence. A spokesperson for Steve Camp's mother addressed the media outside, detailing the toll that the death has Lever's death has taken on the family, and that I'm not convinced that Oscar has been rehabilitated. Rehabilitation requires someone to engage honestly with the full truth of his crime and consequences thereof, said June Steve Camp in prepared remarks. Now, Miss Steve Camp's parents gave an interview to a British newspaper in February for the 10th anniversary of their daughter's death and said that they had not forgiven him, still believed that he shot her intentionally in anger and wanted him to stay in prison for the rest of his life. June Steve Camp attended Pistorius' first parole hearing in March to oppose his release, but did not attend on Friday. Miss Steve Camp's father, Barry, died in September. Several factors are typically taken into account by the parole board, including the nature of the crime, the possibility of reoffending, the conduct in prison, physical and mental well-being, and potential threats a prisoner may face if released. Pistorius was denied parole in March after it was ruled that he'd not completed the minimum detention period required. However, the Constitutional Court said in October that Pistorius had served half of the sentence in March 2021, which meant he was eligible for parole after his sentence was backdated to June 2016 instead of November 2017. So it goes into some of the history of the case here, how he got 6 years and it was changed to 13 years. How do you feel? I mean, I'm interested to see how people feel about that. How do people feel about the fact that he, first of all, that he ended up with 13 years, and second of all, that he's got 10 years, that he's had 3 years left. It looks like he's going to get parole. And I guess, and thirdly, can he get his life back? Is he able to start anew, or does he deserve to start again? And how do you live a life out of prison after a murder charge? So they're all interesting questions, I guess, that could be asked. And will he go back to racing, and how will he be treated and dealt with in that? There's a whole lot of different scenarios here. Yeah, I'm interested to see what your views are on that. If you've got any, maybe you don't care. I just think that it's very interesting. It's always been in the news. I mean, I think one of the things that they were concerned is that he wouldn't surprise, if I remember rightly. And that they weren't concerned. They were concerned he might not survive prison. Well, he's done that. So I was looking yesterday at just scrolling through social media or scrolling through the news as I do, and I noticed that there is a court case involving Daryl Hall and John Oates. They obviously have had a falling out of some sort. It's interesting how some of the great collaborative people have fallen out. Now, this is really interesting. It is sealed. The documentation is currently all sealed, so everyone is sort of just speculating as to what it is. And I'm going to pull up the record. What is available so that you can see it for yourself, and then we'll look at some of the reporting behind it. because it is very interesting. And just waiting for it to load. It's very slow. So we know that Daryl, we know that Daryl Hall is suing John Oates. Here it is. Daryl Hall. So here it is. Let me pull it up here. And it's got a suppression order over it. A confidential, it's like, yeah, it's under seal. So most of it is under seal. And what on earth is happening here? This is crazy stuff at the moment. So thank you if you're still with me. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. All right. So this is Daryl Hall, individual, versus Amy Hall. I'm clicking things and it's, yeah. So this is, I need to refresh this. Hang on. Me, I might feel better soon. Yeah. So let's get this up. So this is Daryl Hall versus Amy Oates. Defendant, the John Oates Trust. The defendant, Amy Oates, in official capacity co-trustee in the John W. Oates Trust. The defendant, Oates John, plaintiff, Daryl Hall, individual, in capacity of the trustee, the Daryl Hall Revocable Trust. So it would seem that we've got trusts involved here. And there's a restraining bond of $50,000 paid. There's a temporary restraining order filed. And there is a seal. There's a temporary seal on there. So that's the details of it there. That's the case summary to date. So, so they are littered in litigation, and it's a confidential lawsuit, and with everything sealed. So they are, one is suing the other, Hall against Oates, and of course they had many chart toppers. And it's listed as a contract debt dispute. That's what we know. And also there is a restraining order file. The suit comes amid public tension between Hall and Oates. Philadelphia Magazine reported Hall said that Oates was not his creative partner during the 2022 interview on Bill Mayer's Club Random podcast. He's my business partner, not my creative partner. John and I are brothers. We are not creative brothers. We are business partners. We made records called Hall and Oates together, but we've always been very separate, and that's a very important thing for me. The representatives of either party could not be reached to comment, and they had been performing as a duo since 1972. And they toured together as recently as October 2022, but also have done things separately. They've never officially broken up. One of the things I don't think we get full credit is for opening up the minds of commercial radio for that possibility of duo music, Oates said to The Guardian. But yeah, so that's that's going to be interesting. So I believe they are touring separately at the moment. And so if there's a restraining order out, I would suspect that they are not, they won't be touring together for a little while. I would assume that to be the case. So I'm interested in if you have a view on that. Do you have a view on that? Because, you know, that is, again, that's another great duo that's now not performing. So now we're going to head to Katie Joy, and I'm going to just check. Just bear with me. I'm just going to check to see if we've got any orders in Minnesota for the what the update is on that. So now we've hit 4:14 a.m. on Saturday morning. Yes, it's a Saturday morning. The day that I don't actually have to be anywhere and I can't sleep. Isn't that bizarre? Alrighty. Actually, I'm wondering if Katie Joy takes a stand, whether she'll be a bit like Bruce Lehrman. And yeah, there's just a little bit of a correlation there I can see. Okay, so let's have a look what we've got here. Okay, so there's a scheduling conference due for March, which is this here. So this 7M case is obviously not going away. Let's be honest. That ship has sailed. It's not going away. It says scheduling conference March at 9 a.m. Okay. So we've got this must be the order here. Is this the order? So there's correspondence. Affidavit of person. Taken under advisement. Oh, no. Yeah, taken under advisement. So, we saw that one. That correspondence was from Amber. So yeah, so we've got the hearing was held in person and it's taken under advisement. So there's nothing else there, but we do have a scheduling conference. So the thing that staggers me though is that she's got 3 attorneys and they don't seem to be able to get themselves organized. And Amber Stagger just seems to be, from all intents and purposes, running rings around them all. But anyway, so we saw Katie Joy for the first time in months yesterday on her Instagram. And so she's written Happy Thanksgiving. And so we've got, your hair has gotten so long. You are beautiful inside and out. Never forget that. Happy holidays. You look fantastic. Your eyebrow is looking fantastic. I hope we will be seeing your smiling face back on your YouTube channel soon. And she said, Steal, she's got STEAL, healing, and scar tissue. Daily makeup isn't good right now. And I don't know whether you can see it, but it is. I'll try and zoom it in for you a little bit more. And I don't know if you can see this side of the face here. You can see there is one part of the face that is not, I don't think even the filters have been able to save it, to be fair. Yeah, not even the filters have saved you in this case, which is not, considering that she goes after everybody else's looks. She has gone after everybody else's looks. It's her virtual signaling is a bit off, in my opinion. Yeah, so there we go. So she's still on her Sister Wives stuff. Always a delight. Watch every Sister Wives and John plus 8 vlog. Eyebrows look great, but can someone explain what happened? I must have missed. So I believe that she's still trying to sort out her hacking stuff. There's been lots and lots of questions answered about why just her Facebook got hacked and not her Instagram. So she says she uses Meta Business Suite, which I do too. She says my account was hacked through an email that appeared to have been sent by Facebook. I never open any of those. I always go straight to the all of it was real on my Facebook and it appeared real. And she's saying that her this account that hacked me, if you didn't, people you unfriended, apparently still working to get my access back, spend an hour and chat with Meta support. The account. So she's named the account that's allegedly hacked her. And the interesting thing is that Meta has frozen the payout of her page. Now, I thought she always maintained that she didn't get payouts on her page. I thought she always said she wasn't monetized. But anyway. And then she's definitely gone after Robin again. I mean, in Robin's defense, Robin does actually have a right to feel hard done by in some cases, because she joined the family thinking she was joining a polygamy family, and now she's got Cody to herself, and that, from what she was saying, is not what she agreed to or signed up for. So definitely very interesting, all of this stuff, as to how this is going to play out. I have to tell you, didn't Dolly Parton look amazing yesterday? Although some people are saying that she's 77 and she shouldn't be trying to dress like that, but I thought she looked amazing. I thought Dolly Parton looked amazing. KJ looks like she's got cheek fillers and lip fillers. Some people have said that, Terry. Some people have said that it would seem that KJ has actually had some fillers put in. Maybe that is the reason why she's not been on camera. And her hair, it's not that the color, is it? Black? It looked like in the light, it looked like the hair was black. So if the hair's black, let's go back to it. Dyed her hair dark. Yeah, well, it looks like it's dyed. It when everything else seems to be a lot lighter. Is it black or dark brown, or is there a bit tinge of red in it? It might have a tinge of red in it. It might have a tinge of red in it. But definitely, yeah. Yeah, you see the red too, Terry? Yeah, looks like there's a tinge of red. Well, the chin is still the chin's still the same. So yeah, she's definitely got that tinge of, but I think there's a tinge of red in there. Definitely a tinge of red. So I think she's starting to show her age. Yeah, that's right. Something happens to your body when you hit a certain age, doesn't it? It doesn't matter how much you try and putty over the lines. But you are right, she's definitely showing her age. Hmm. It does happen. One day you feel like a spring chick, one day you're young, and the next day you're suddenly like you've got all your crow's feet suddenly come out of nowhere. Oh dear. So one of the things that I wanted to show you my Twitter feed, because it's very interesting what's trending at the moment. I'm going to segue back to when I started with the Bruce Lehrman defamation trial against Channel 10, because we got and Lisa Wilkinson, because Lisa Wilkinson's trending overnight. Linda Reynolds is trending overnight. Linda Reynolds was who Bruce Lehrman was working for. Disgusting in politics is trending. ScoMo is trending. They're all trends related to this defamation trial in Australia. It's a really big, it's a really big defamation trial in the sense that it was standing room only. And so this is what's happening. One of the things is that the AFP didn't do a very good job investigating him. You would have thought highly experienced body of professional cops would have picked up on his lies. Someone's fixed up. He tells the court he lied during police interview. On the stand, on the stand of the case that he brought, saying he's so stressed his memory isn't working. You know what's easy to remember, mate? The truth is what someone else is saying. Bruce Lehrman under heavy heat by Dr. Matt Collins. SC after BL claimed on Wednesday he did not buy Brittany Higgins' drink at the Dock Hotel. Collins, SC Casey, stuns Lehrman with a photograph from the hospital, from the hotel. And he immediately folds and says, I apologize, I was wrong. Bruce Lehrman admits he lied to his employer, to the AFP, to Parliament, security guards, and says Lisa Wilkinson harmed his reputation. And then there's people saying that to those that doubted Brittany Higgins hanging her head in shame. It says, Bruce Lehrman is a 28-year-old. He stated he started to work at a Parliament House just after the 2013 election. That means he was 18. How the hell did he get a job working for an MP at that age with no experience? So, yeah. So, yeah, it hasn't gone very well. I don't know whether they will be looking for perjury, whether they will go for perjury charges against him. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, if I seriously was his lawyer, I would be trying to pull him out of testifying, because I don't know how you recover from this. But I guess all I can say is I hope that they know what they're doing. I guess they do. They are senior counsel, but social media's been having a field day with that. So, yeah, I don't know, unless someone else has got stuff that they want to contribute or say. Yeah, it's just before, Llama Girl's actually done a close up of the eye. So this is Katie's eye. I need to warn you, it's not pretty, but this shows you the eye in really close up form, and you can just see how bad it is, and you can actually also see the layers and layers and layers of makeup. You can just see the layers of makeup, and you know, why isn't this working? You don't really want to see me. There we go. Have a look at this eye. So, Llama Girl says this is never going to heal, and this is with filters. Just use filters. So, yeah, that's the eye. So you can see how bad it is, and you can also see how when she says the makeup isn't working, it's not working. I mean, she could probably stop just being vain and embrace it and just go with it. I mean, look at me. I look like I've just. It's not that I don't care. It's just this is who I am. You reckon it's infection, Botox infection? Don't know. But this is me, and this is who I am, and what I love about my community is that you accept me for the craziness that I am, and we need to accept each other for that. So, and sometimes I do look really nice, and I do dress up, and I do those things, but for most part I'm just me, and that's fine. My community is a little small, and that's fine too. Anyway, I'm going to head off. I'm going to try and get some more sleep before the sun gets up. So thank you for joining me. Please do me a favor and hit like and subscribe. Look, maybe you'd like to support the channel, become a member. There's the PayPal link as well. Be great. Anyway, I'm hoping to be back soon. Hopefully I can get my videos uploaded that I've been working on. That would be nice. That if my computer will actually cooperate long enough. We've had a okay live stream, so that's good. We still had a little bit of a glitch, but I think it's getting better. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me, and bye for now.